Hey everybody, I'm Lucy. If we haven't met before, I teach yoga and Pilates fusion classes at March Wellness. And today we're going to be doing a 30-minute series that focuses on basically the area below your knees, your feet, your ankles, and your calves. We do not need any props today except for our mat or whatever area of the floor you like to work on. And with that said, let's get started. So we're going to start lying down on our backs on our mats. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. I like to start a lot of classes this way, just checking in with your hips, maybe finding a couple circles with the knees in one direction, the other direction. So taking this moment to just check in with your deep belly breath. Not worried about anything we have to do for the rest of the day. Just focus on your breathing and release. From here, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Extend the left leg nice and long in front of you. With each exhalation, right shin hugs closer to your center, left thigh presses deeper into the floor. As we inhale, we're going to flex the feet. That's going to start from the ankles, lengthening up the backs of your ankles. And as you exhale, we'll point, again, starting at the ankles, traveling across the tops of your feet, curling over at the toes last. Take maybe a breath or two here. If your feet start to cramp, shake them out. When you're ready, come back and join us. Inhale here, and as you exhale, swap legs. Left knee hugs in, right leg nice and long in front of you. Never stagnant. With each exhalation, that left shin continues to grow closer to your belly. Right thigh presses deeper into the floor. Maybe you feel a little opening through your psoas. So we inhale, flex the feet, starting at the toes, reaching all the way back to the ankles. And as you exhale, point from the ankles, traveling across the feet, turning over at the toes last. Keeping that active point if that feels okay in your body. And then when you're ready, bend both knees. Bring your arms out to your side. Inhale as you exhale, rock your knees over to your right side. Maybe your gaze turns to face that left palm or facing the ceiling. You have the option to take the right hand to the outside of that left thigh, adding a little resistance, just opening up the spine. And then releasing that top leg. Keep your inner thighs together. Use your obliques to bring your knees through center and over to your left side. Right shoulder blade reaches down, maybe left hand to the outside of that thigh. Gaze turns to face the right palm or the ceiling. And then releasing that top arm. Inner thighs stay together, bring those knees back to center. Maybe flex your feet again, opening up the back of the ankles. Maybe you feel that lift a little into your calves. Bend your knees, take your hands to the outsides of your shins. Hug the knees towards your armpits as you rock side to side. And bring your feet to the floor, knees are bent, arms by our side. We're going to reach up the right leg. Starting with an active point here, again, starting at the ankle. Let's find a few rounds from here of flexing, reaching those toes back, stretching out the back of the calf with that, and exhale, point. Try to not just think of it as two separate positions, but how we work the feet to get there. How does the foot feel connected to the ankle to the calf, etc. From here, let's start to find a couple ankle circles in one direction, whatever your full range of motion is. Maybe the belly button stays slightly drawing back towards the mat. Active abdominals to protect the spine. And another direction. From here, I'm going to have you spell your name in cursive letters with your foot. If you don't know cursive, make it up. I can't see you. Great, one more point for when you're ready, and then bring that foot down. Let's try the other leg, reaching it up, starting with that point. Maybe hips stay square. Inhale, we start to flex the foot, starting at the toes, reaching back, opening up the calf. Exhale, point. That starts at the ankle, travels across the tops of your feet, curls over at your toes last. Few more rounds of that. The feet often go forgotten in our practice, but especially with standing positions, our feet are our base. Everything comes from that. We also have so much automatic arch support in a lot of our shoes that we're actually, as a society, losing our ability to use our feet. So taking just a few minutes a day to work them, or even just walking barefoot, can really help. Maybe a couple ankle rolls in one direction. And the other direction. From here, I'll spell the name of a friend, family member, pet, former celebrity crush, city of birth, whatever feels right for you that's different than your name. Practicing different letters. Trying to be as specific as you can. Nice, and then one more point. Bringing your foot back down. Hands by your side, hips stay square. Press the feet into the floor just enough to start to feel the glutes come online. And then thinking evenly between both feet, as well as between the front and back half of the body, start to lift up the hips. Tailbone draws towards your knees, so I'm not lifting from the back. Lifting from those glutes. Quads and inner thighs are engaged. Could you wiggle your toes? Make sure you're not digging them into the floor. Exhale, one vertebra at a time back down. Just two more of those. Inhale, lifting up. Really feeling how there's the pressing down to lift up. A rebound energy coming from our base, our feet, back down. Low belly scoops. And one more time, lifting up. And exhale, back down. Nice, hug your knees in, couple circles one way and the other. And then rounding the spine, find a few spinal rolls to come up to all fours. If we're not rolling today, you can just rock to one side and bring yourself back up. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, full palms on the floor. Inhale, heart reaches forward, sits bones lift up tall. Exhale, curling up, tops of the feet are nice and long on the mat. Inhale, heart reaches forward, sits bones lift up tall. Exhale, lifting up. Neutral spine. From here, we're going to curl our toes. I don't often curl. We find a child's pose variation because it puts extra weight on the knee. So we're going to do it short today to open up those feet. Reaching the hips back, knees stay the same distance apart. Maybe that's your edge. If you feel comfortable going further, maybe your head rests to the floor. Breathing into the bottoms of those feet. One more breath here. And then coming back up. Hands stay slightly forward. Curl your toes. Lift up and back to a downward facing dog. Using your hands to really press those legs back. One knee bends as the opposite heel presses down. As you exhale, swap legs, opening up those calves. One more time each side. And swapping legs. This time, both heels are going to lift over the toes. Lift your sits bones even higher. Essentially, stick your butt in the air. Chest stays open. Melt the heels back down. Inhale, we're going to come forward to plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Heels are over the toes, so I have active feet here. Can you reach that collarbone forward? Exhale, keep the same distance between your hands and legs if that works for you to come back into down dog. If your heels are a tiny bit off the floor, that's okay. I want a drawing down here. One more time, inhale forward. Back of the neck stays long, hips have a gentle lift to them. Exhale, up and back. Nice, we're gonna walk our feet up a little bit more this time, and just once at a time, bend one knee, opening up the back of that ankle and Achilles. And then swapping sides. You might find that one side feels different than the other. That's okay. You don't have to compare in terms of matching. We just want to compare in terms of learning about the body and where we place tension. Nice. This time, knees are going to come nice and wide to your mat, big toes touching, reach back to a traditional child's pose. Maybe walk your hands over to one side, keeping your hips where they are. And then through center, other side. And back to center. One more breath here. And then we'll come back up to all fours. So oftentimes, downward facing dog can be a difficult position. And it feels almost like it's always in our hamstrings. But sometimes that tightness in the hamstrings has more to do with your calves. So we're going to work that out here. First, curl your toes. Let's come into another downward facing dog and just start to feel where you're feeling this in your body. Inhale here. Exhale back to all fours. Nice. I'm going to bring my weight on my right shin. And I'm going to lift my left foot. My toes are not curled. No weight, extra weight on that knee. The weight spreading across that whole shin. With my left heel, I'm going to come to the top of that calf and start to find little circles of massages. If it would feel comfortable, you can find little taps one side to the other, just opening up that calf and slowly starting to work our way down. If you get to a point where you're comfortable with this, you can instead use the knee, take that left knee to the top or whatever angle of that right calf feels good, circles and start to make your way down. This will be more intense though, so you can either just give it less weight or stick with the heel. Never putting any direct weight on the knee. And then stopping around the ankle, let's try the other side. Shift onto your left shin, right heel comes to the top. Couple circles. Whichever way, maybe both directions feels good for you. Little tap side to side. And when you're comfortable, maybe shifting to the knee. Can you keep those shoulders away from the ears? So making sure we don't forget about that upper body and the support of our abdominals, even as we're focusing on the lower half. And then when you're ready, coming back to all fours, walk your hands at palms distance again. Curl your toes, let's lift up and back to our next downward facing dog. Maybe noticing if you feel any different. The answer can be no. Maybe one knee bends. Maybe the other knee bends. Maybe one heel lifts, opening up that feet. Maybe the other heel lifts. Maybe we pedal out the feet. Maybe you take the feet a little bit wider here. And then walk your feet up towards your hands. Find a forward fold. You can clasp your hands around your elbows, finding a ragdoll here. You can also keep your hands by your side or on your hips, whatever feels good in your body. And then notice, can you start to shift your weight up towards the balls of your feet? So your hips are more in line with your ankles. You can shake your head, yes, no. And then releasing your hands, bend the knees in one vertebra at a time. We roll up. Think of one vertebra stacking on top of the next. As the last thing to come up. Nice. Let's roll the shoulders up and back. Elbows up and out. Arms up and out. Maybe clasp your hands behind your back. Open the chest. You can stay here or find a forward fold. Weight still shifting towards the balls of your feet. And then release, bend your knees and roll up one more time. Continuing to work on our feet here, we're going to come to one side of your mat, either one, we're going to go in both directions, and face the opposite side of your mat. From here, we're going to step forward with the right foot, and I'm going to trace the outer edge of that foot to the floor, bringing my right pinky toe to the floor first. Then I want you to see if you can lower down one toe at a time. Big toe is last. Notice that when that big toe comes down, I'm not dropping through that arch. There's still that slight lift through that inner arch. I'm pressing the tiniest bit harder through that right side. From there, we can shift to the other foot. Tracing the outside, left pinky toe comes to the floor. One toe at a time, lowering down. Start to make your way down your mat. I want you to think of opening up the different muscles of the feet. We often think of the foot as one unit, but there's dozens of muscles there. So we want to think of opening up those different muscles as opposed to just using resistance. So if you look down and notice that your knuckles are turning a couple shades lighter than your normal skin tone, notice if we can maybe put the toes down a little bit more gently. So we don't squish those toes down. If you find it's easier to go slow, try speeding it up. If you find it's easier to go fast, try slowing it down. One more round. Maybe taking extra caution as you transfer your weight, noticing what happens to your feet there. And then coming back to center when you're ready. Maybe shake out one foot. Shake out the other foot. You can curl the toes under, lengthening out the tops of your feet. And then other side. Nice. We're going to start to bring in a calf strengthener. So I'm going to have you come over to a wall or chair or anything where you feel like you can rest a little bit of weight. If you don't feel like you need it, this is always optional. And I'm going to have you face that wall, but I'm going to have you come into a first position. So if we don't know what this is, we can start with our feet together. The ball of one foot lifts, turns out, plops down. The ball of the other foot lifts, turns out, plops down. Wherever it naturally falls, that is your turnout. So I'm not forcing anything, no pressure on those knees. I want you to think of squeezing your inner thighs and your glutes super hard together as if our legs were one unit. So a lot of strength going on, abdominals right here. The tendency when we focus on our feet is to collapse through the upper body. So make sure the chest and collarbones stay open. Back of the neck is long. Second thing I'm going to talk about is we're going to find heel lifts. So maybe let's just look down, lift one heel over the ball of your foot, put it down and swap. That is your range of motion. So we want to try to get to that same height every time we lift. Easier said than done, but what happens when we do a half lift is we take our nice long Achilles and shrink it. So I'd rather see you go every other time or every 3 or 4 times all the way up than every time a third of the way or so. With that said, we're going to take 2 fingers of each hand. We're going to bring it to our wall. I'm in my first position. Squeeze those glutes in the inner thighs, chest stays lifted. From here, we're going to find slow heel lifts. The heels are going to lift up. And 1, down, 2, down, all the way up. Keep your turnout. So those heels are ideally touching every time you come down. Down, 6, down, 7, and 8. Again, and 8. Down, 7, down, 6, down, 5, and 4. Low bellies lifted. 3, down, 2, and 1. You can repeat that, or we can try one foot at a time. Shifting to my right foot. My left foot's going to wrap around my ankle. If that's confusing, you can just keep it lifted. 1 count of 8, slower, all the way up. We lift up. 1, down, 2, down, 3, staying lifted through the upper body. Down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, and 8. Nice, swap sides. You can always come back to both feet. We lift, 8, down, 7, down, 6, keep breathing, 5, and 4, down, 3, down, 2, and 1. Beautiful. We're going to do one more round with both feet. But what I want to check in with about is as we lift to support the ankle, you want to keep your second toe ideally in line with your ankle. So what I see sometimes when we lift is if you look at the line between my ankle and heel, is we'll kind of swoop the legs forward or swoop the legs back, those heels. Where I want to see, can we press down to lift up? 2 different energies, so my ankle is staying in line with that second toe, coming back using that turnout. So last round, both feet, let's focus on that. I'll stay to the side to help you see me better for that. We lift up, and 1, down, 2, straight up, 3, down, so I'm not here, down, 5, down, straight up, down, 7, and 8. Last 8, and 8. Belly buttons drawing back, supporting the spine. 5, and 4. Is the heel lifting all the way up? If not, every other time. 2, and 1. This time stay lifted. Maybe you take your hands away, find your balance for 8, 7, 6, 5. You can do something different with your hands. 3, 2, 1, and come down. Nice, face the wall. We're going to step one foot back, opening up that calf. Front knee is bent, back heel reaches to the floor. If you want to open up that Achilles, you can bend that back leg, the back knee very gently. And then swapping sides. Maybe bending that back knee. And then coming back up. Face the camera end of the room. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, find a forward fold. Feet or hips width apart. This time you can stay exactly where you are. Or as we inhale, maybe lift up the heels. Can you take one hand off the floor, maybe second hand off the floor, find a little balance, maybe do a little groove with the arms. Hands come to the floor, heels return back down. Again, this time heels lift up. From here, heels stay lifted as we're going to bend the knees. Inhale, straighten the legs. And back down. One more time like that. Inhale, lift up the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, lifting up. And heels back down. Bend your knees to roll up one vertebra at a time. From here, we're going to find 10 taps with the right toe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As simple as that seems, really good for anyone who ever suffers from any pain due to shin splints or anything like that, helping that whole area together. One more time each side. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swap. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. This time, come to the floor. Bring your legs nice and long in front of you. What I like to do to get the fronts of my sits bones, which is the healthiest position for my spine, is I just kind of reach back, and without more elegant phrasing, I just kind of tuck my butt cheeks back. Just helps you get in front of the sits bones, helps you keep that natural inner curve of your spine. Arms are going to come by your side to lift the chest. Feet are flexed, active feet here. Working our turn out and our feet. We're going to inhale, turn out. From the ankles, we point. As you exhale, parallel legs to flex. Again, turn out and point, parallel and flex. And out. Point, really working those full feet. Last time, out. Point, parallel, flex. Reverse, point, turn out. From here, flex, then back to center. And point. Can you feel your abdominals working to support that spine? 2 more. Point. Turn out. Collarbone is broad. Back of the neck is long. Last time. Point. Turn out. Flex to center. Nice lift up. Tap your feet. From here, hands help support you. We're just going to use our toes to scooch the foot forward. So you can start either side. Toes are going to come down and pull that foot with it. 3, 4. It feels very Addams Family-ish. 6, 7. Really spreading those toes out as you go. From here we reverse. 1. Spread the toes out. Out. 3. Out. 4. 5. 6. 7. Other side. 1. 2. 3. Can you really work on getting space between each toe? 6. 7. And 8. Reverse. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. Nice, tap the feet out. Crossing the legs, maybe find a few waves through the spine. Waking up that upper body, stay lifted, arms reach up overhead. From here, right finger to your side, left arm up and over, so I'm going to mirror you. Rounding through center. Swapping arms, opening up the chest, and back up. And other side, left arm comes down, right arm up and over. Rounding through center. Swapping arms, opening up the chest, and back up. Hands plant behind your hips, feet come in front of you. Let's just inhale, lift the hips up. Full round of breath here. And coming back down. Swing the legs around, we'll start to come back to the floor. Maybe hugging your knees in towards your chest again, couple circles one way and the other. If it feels comfortable in your body, you can bring the inner edges of your feet together, let the knees fall open. If that doesn't feel right, legs can be nice and long in front of you. Arms can either come to this cactus 90-degree position on the floor or all the way out to your side, or maybe clasping your hands, resting them on your belly. Just taking a few moments here, not worried about anything we did or didn't do in class, not worried about anything we have to do for the rest of the day, not even worried about feet. Just checking in with your breath and letting go, feeling the support of the ground below you. When you're ready, you can start to bring some energy back into your fingers and toes. Maybe wiggling those fingers and toes. And then bringing your arms up overhead, knees come together, rock over to one side, and up through all fours. Heart reaches forward, sits bones lifted tall. Exhale, curl the spine up. Neutral spine will curl the toes, come back into one more squat here. Really allowing those heels to sink as close to the floor as feels good for you. And then straightening your legs. One vertebra at a time, rolling up. Facing me, roll your shoulders back, your elbows back, your arms, and open. One more deep breath here as your arms reach up overhead. Exhale, give yourselves a bow. You guys are done for the day, and good job. I will see you next week.